Hey, what is going on, my fellow comic book addicts? Um, I'm Mark Allen. This is Four Color Commentary. Thanks for watching. And I'm a little bit overdue for this video, but about 2 weekends ago, it'll be 2 weeks Saturday, went to the annual Pryor Comic Convention, set up there with a bunch of long boxes and short boxes with my oldest son, and we had a great time. Pardon me there. Anyway, we had a great time. I wanted to share my haul, a little bit of my haul with you. Oh, wait just one moment. There is something I forgot. This will figure very largely and very importantly into the video toward the end. Just don't want to give it away quite yet. All right, here we go. So, once again, Pryor Creek Comic Con in Pryor, Oklahoma. Great show. Always find some great deals there. In fact, I spent only on a couple of books did I spend more than $1. And so we're going to talk about those books, trying to figure out how to divvy these up. This first set, we'll just go ahead and go with this first set. I went to the table of a good friend of mine by the name of Rob Tiger. And these were in his dollar boxes. They range, I try to, you know me, with very few exceptions, I really like the fine to very fine, at least, grades. But I will get some goods and very goods, depending on the book itself, all right? But, so anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and jump right in here. And here are some of the books that I got at this year's Pryor Creek Comic Con. I got Avengers number 113. Okay, so just kind of a really cool cover there. This is one that's good to very good, and but it's I like the early Bronze Age, the earlier Bronze Age Avengers, and or mid Bronze Age, whatever you want to call it. Early Bronze Age, I think that still is. But anyway, so just trying to work on that run as much as I can. Okay, and then Avengers, doing a little skip here all the way up to Avengers number 137. This is also very good. This is very good to find, but this is the issue in which the Beast joins the Avengers, and so neat book there. One I've actually never owned this book or the one before, and so I'm happy about that. Happy to have those in my Avengers run now. Okay, next Avengers 138. Let's see, that's a fine, very good to find, I think, and so. Really great Gil Kane Watcher cover on there. Okay, so okay, so those are the Avengers. Again, no runs or anything, just adding to runs here. Thor number 234. This is in fine. Another great Gil Kane cover. Man, this was the Bronze Age. Lots of Gil Kane covers. My view on Gil Kane has really changed over the last couple of years. Lots of respect for the volume of work this man turned out. And his work has been growing on me, okay? Thor 240, another Gil Kane cover, okay? And not sure who was inked by that or who inked that, but certainly Gil Kane pencils on there. And just a great battle cover there. So Thor number 253 with a Jack Kirby cover. Obviously, that was when Jack returned to Marvel after his stint at DC, doing things like the New Gods and Mr. Miracle, and his run on Jimmy Olsen, and in which though I can't really read New Gods all the way through, I just can't. I can look at it. It's very beautifully illustrated, and amazing the amount of imagination that went into it. But I can respect, again, the volume of work, again, that Jack did, the amount of the DC universe that he created while in his relatively short stint there. So anyway, great Jack Kirby cover. A few Captain Marvels. Captain Marvel number $25. These were all dollar books, by the way, dollar books. Okay, now this one is very good, but I love the cover, and just a great cover. But I love the Marvel Cosmic books. You know, always have loved the Cosmic books. Now, to a certain point, I haven't really. I was trying to accumulate the Quasar run from the 90s, and I finally just I put them all in the sale. And when I went to the con a couple weeks ago, and I'm not going to try to build that run. I've heard people say, "Oh, it's such a great run," but they were just getting too hard to find. I'd find the same ones over and over again in boxes. Okay, so Captain Marvel number 46. Okay, great Kree cover there with Rick Jones on the cover. Okay, and so that was also a fine. Okay, and so next Captain Marvel number 48 with a character called the Cheetah on there. I haven't done my research. Don't know if that's his first appearance. I'd never even heard of Marvel's Cheetah. Okay, when I hear Cheetah, I always think of Wonder Woman's villain. All right, and Wonder Woman's villain just much more established, of course. But so anyway, interesting cover there. All right, Captain Marvel number 50. This is a cover I've always liked and a story I've always liked. I have had this one. This is the Captain Marvel and the Avengers fight the Super Adaptoid. I think they just call him the Adaptoid on the cover there. Okay. And then Captain Marvel number 52. Some of these, I cracked them open, but cracked them open because anytime I get a bunch of Bronze Age books at a show, I always crack them open just to make sure there's not a Mark Jewelers insert or an unknown signature in there. But anyway, I think these were some of these later ones here in a moment will be where Pat Broderick started his early work, maybe, perhaps. I can't remember. All right. 52. So Captain Marvel number 53. Wonderful Captain Marvel and Black Bolt cover on there. Again by Gil Kane. Great stuff. Okay. Gil Kane became, I think, what Lou Fine would have been if he'd continued into comics into the 60s and 70s. So anyway, Captain Marvel number 53. Captain Marvel number 54. Again, $1. These are all $1. And taking on Nitro there. Is that Nitro? Yes, that is Nitro. All right. Nitro, the man with the explosive punch, I guess. You know, I really believe this may be, as many comics as I have, and as many comics as I have had, this might be I can't think of any other comics I have that have Nitro in them. So, anyway, maybe. Okay, so that was my, the Captain Marvels and Avengers and Thors. There's a few more Thors in here in a moment, I believe. Okay, so I actually picked up The Amazing Spider-Man, number 546. This was the start of the Brand New Day storyline that was so panned by the fans, and yet this particular book, 546, for a while had spiked. In fact, Rob had a lot of these, had the old price tags on them, the prices they used to command, and they were all in his dollar box. Well, this one has a $20 price tag on it, but it doesn't go for that anymore. But this is Amazing Spider-Man number 546. And it's kind of becoming, I mean, I've always liked that cover. I like that cover as he's, you know, Peter's hurriedly changing into his Spider-Man costume, pulling the mask down as he's going into action. And for a buck, you know, that's a comic that's been hot. Maybe it'll come up again. It's the first appearance of some character. All right. Let's see here. These are a few that I got also for, well, let's see. I'll talk about them individually as I go through. Okay, this one I got for $2 because I already have this copy of Fanticos Chronicles #4, but it's this amazing George Perez cover. But it looks like it was done in the Charlton style of the Bronze Age. It looks like it was colored this is not a knock. It looks like it was very, very, very well done in crayon. Or watercolors, cheap watercolors. And again, that's not a knock because it's really cool work. It's very distinctively George Perez. In fact, I think this is a wraparound cover. I believe. Oh, I'm going to have to do something. Oh, no, there it is. Okay. Thought I was going to have trouble. So there's the back that has more Perez artwork on it. Okay. So let me just show you the wraparound cover altogether. Okay, so they're not really connected, are they? Okay, so I can show you. So there you have a bunch of other characters on there. You got Loki, and he's going up against some of the Avengers there. And you have Jocasta and Hercules and Black Widow and Hawkeye and the Hulk and so many others, Black Panther. But so obviously Perez, such a wonderful Perez cover. And so that was just worth having another copy of that. Then I have quite a run of the first volume of Alien Legion, which Marvel's Epic imprint. It came out under Marvel's Epic imprint. I was missing this one issue #6, for $1. And just to finish the run, even though I have the best part of that series in a trade paperback, I went ahead and got that because I liked the cover. That was such a fun series. And it was early, well, now I don't remember who did the art. Early Frank something. I can't remember. I just remember it was great stuff. Really, really great stuff. Y'all know how I like the bling, the cover bling, the foil covers, the gimmick covers. Had this one as well, but for $1, I got this one. I got actually the first 3 issues of Ghost Rider 2099, and it does have the foil cover of #1 on there. Actually, I think the non-foil cover, I think is even more rare. I need to hunt it down. I've never seen it in the wild. But this does have issues 1, 2, and 3. All that, but that early, wonderful Chris Bocciolo art. Chris's art I've always loved, but his style did change over time. It's not what it was in the 90s. Different. And so, like that right there. Also, along the lines of foil covers, found one I'd never seen before. It's a Punisher Christmas-themed cover. It's Punisher Holiday Special #1. Boom, with the red foil ornaments on there, and I'm not going to take the plastic off, but those are red foil ornaments. And on the tree, I love that. I just really like that. That's a legit Christmas cover done in foil, all its foil glory. And so for $1, yeah. Okay, these were quarter books, all 4 of these. I bought these for the covers. And I try not to do that much, but every once in a while, and for $2 bits, you can't do better than Mike Kaluta covers. Mike Kaluta cover there. The Spectre books have always had very cool artists, very great artists doing their covers. They've always managed to get great cover artists. Another Kaluta cover in #3. Oh, I got them out of order there. It's #3. Mike Kaluta. And another Kaluta cover in, let's see, is this Kaluta or is this? No, yes, this is Mike Kaluta, #1. Okay, so the first 3 covers were Kaluta. The #13 is the last Spectre book I got of the same series, same volume. But it was not a Kaluta cover. No, I got 2 more. What am I saying? Okay, #13 is a Charles Vess cover. Gotta love Vess. One of the greatest, well, he included both, 2 of the greatest fantasy artists ever, but I also love their superhero stuff. So Charles Vess, and then #14 was also a Charles Vess cover. Just nothing more epic and creepy than the Spectre standing atop a pile of skulls. Okay, so there you go. All right, let's see. few dollar comics continued here. Excuse me one moment. Thank you very much. Oh, wow. Sorry, I'm really enjoying this new coffee we got. All of a sudden, I can't remember the name of the coffee. I don't remember the name of the coffee. But it's an independent brand. It is a dark roast, which is all I drink. And then I've added a little bit of my Fairland chocolate milk in there. Fairland chocolate milk. I drink Fairland milk because it has less sugar, less carbs, but more protein. As I'm a diabetic, type 2 diabetic. And when I add a little bit of that chocolate milk, which is very sweet, in that coffee, it's so great. Okay, that was free. All right. Got some. These next two were actually dollar books as well. I got from Rob Tiger's table. These are a couple of Marvel team ups. One that I had, but the other I didn't. And these I've had them before, but these were in great condition. Okay, and this is Marvel team up number 63. That first part one of the great 2-part Spider-Man, Iron Fist, Daughters of the Dragon. Almost said Daughters of the Demon. Daughters of the Dragon team up there against this dude, and I can't remember his name, the villain. I honestly can't. But I first read these books before I was even 12 years old. Okay, and in fact, they came out in 1977. I bought one of them, at least one of them, off the rack, and so I would have been 9. And so, anyway, Steel Serpent. There you go, Steel Serpent. Somebody out there was yelling, "Steel Serpent!" So anyway, so yeah, great one there. John Byrne art, Cockrum covers. Okay, and then number 64, part 2 of that. For a while, these books trended upward for a long time, and they still, a buck on each of them at high grade is a wonderful deal. This one has a slight rolled cover or rolled spine. I will be pressing it. I don't even think I'll hot press it. I'll just cold press it for probably a couple of days, 24 to 48 hours, and that'll take that rolled spine right out. All right, here are some books that I got. Wonderful. Going to add wonderfully to my run on this title. These were 50 cents a piece. 50 cents a piece. Mostly high-grade books. The guy I bought these from, didn't get his name, but he himself bought all of these off the rack. And these are Bronze Age books, okay? You'll be able to date them approximately whenever you see what they are. But anyway, so without further ado, Marvel 2-in-1 number 22. Only a couple of these I had. Now, as I said, he bought these off the rack, so as you might imagine, there are 2 or 3 of them that's kind of they're messed with. One got something spilled on it at some point. I mean, the comic got soaked. Okay, it's still in a bag and board, and it will be until I read it the first time. Then I'll probably put it on the spinner rack. The home for FUBAR comics. All right, Marvel 2-in-1 issue 24. All of these are Marvel 2-in-1. So issue 24. Okay, great thing in Black Goliath cover on there. Right. I think the next time we see Black Goliath, was he Black Goliath then? Yeah, Black Goliath. Next time we see him is in the Project Pegasus storyline, which, by the way, I have the original comics as well as the the first ever issued trade paperback of the Project Pegasus. Great work in there by George Perez, John Byrne. It's terrible. I should remember who wrote it, but I don't. But it's great stories. Great stories. One of the most underrated Marvel stories ever. Ever. Okay? And for some reason, this whole title, Marvel 2-in-1, underrated in my opinion. Great. I mean, throughout some great Ron Wilson art. And I know Ron Wilson's not for everybody, but I just thought his art, his style was so given to the Thing as a character and everything. All right, Marvel 2-in-1 number 25. I have a copy of this, but this was a much nicer copy. And so the Thing and Iron Fist, love it. I believe that's a Kirby cover. unless that is, yeah, that's a Kirby cover. There's that. And issue number 26, The Thing and Nick Fury. And Nick Fury is about to be killed by the Thing. So, according to the cover anyway. Because this is the day, he says, that Nick Fury dies. So, going to have to read that to find out what the deal is there. The Thing's under someone's control, maybe? I don't know. All right. Number 28, The Thing and Submariner. Another great Gil Kane cover. That is a bit of an iconic image. Not the cover, but the image. I've seen that image of The Thing and Submariner on something else, it seems like. But maybe it's just me. Maybe the first time I ever saw that cover, it just made such an impression on me that it stuck. All right, skipping ahead to Marvel 2-in-1 number 36. The Thing and Mr. Fantastic with an amazing Ernie Chan cover. Now, sometimes it was Ernie Chua, okay, C-H-U-A. And this is one of the times when it was C-H-A-N, Ernie Chan. But great Chan cover there. Ernie Chua Chan. There you go. Okay, so great stuff there. Marvel 37. This is the first part of a two-part I never had, though I had this the second part. This is Marvel 2-in-1 number 37, The Thing and Daredevil's alter ego, Matt Murdock, attorney at law. And the Thing is on trial. There you go. So again, with only a few exceptions, I've never read most of these. There's about 4 or 5 that I've read. I'll read them again, obviously. Number 38, part 2 of that story. Great cover. I remember that. That's one of the ones I read when I was young, very young. And a friend of mine actually traded my friend Jason at the time, my best friend, who was a fellow comic collector and reader, traded him for this one. And he was, for some reason, very enamored with this book. I had to trade him, more than just another comic straight across for it. It seems like I traded him 2 or 3. And so anyway, sometimes those things go that way. All right. Marvel 2-in-1 featuring The Thing and Black Panther, number 40. That's the one that got something spilled on it. Not sure if you can tell through. Yeah, you can see through that plastic. Yeah, that thing is got pretty soaked. Okay, but still readable, and I will read it. All right, so Thing and Black Panther. The Thing, number 41, Marvel 2-in-1, The Thing and Brother Voodoo. All right, so another one I've never read. This next one is kind of a cool, creepy cover. The number 44, Marvel 2-in-1, The Thing and Hercules. And they are battling some terrible being there. Ghastly. Ghastly. That's a fun word. Ghastly. All right. Marvel 2-in-1, number 45. This one I owned when I was a kid. The Thing and Captain Marvel. And the Thing, victim of a drive-by. The victim of a drive-by. I don't know why he looks so scared. Since when do bullets harm the Thing? Though I think those may be ray guns. I believe they may be ray guns. The Andromeda Robot. All right. Great stuff there. All right. And then this one. This was great. Love this cover. Love the color scheme. I love the action. I love everything on it. I believe this is even a Ron Wilson cover. But Marvel 2-in-1, number 47. This is the last one. The Thing and the Yancey Street Gang. You always heard about the Yancey Street Gang. I remember when this book came out, and I never did pick it up. I remember seeing it on the rack. So there must have been some reason, probably a mom-related reason why I didn't get it or couldn't get it. And I remember thinking, what? He finally teams up with the Yancey Street Gang? We're finally going to see what some of these guys look like? I still don't know if we see their full faces. They're kind of half faces concealed under construction helmets there. Okay? But looks like so much fun. Happy Death Day, Mr. Grimm. All right? Great stuff. All right. So there's the books. Now, the comic books. I'm going to show you. I meant to do this first. I'm going to do this before I show you the the big thing, the big deal, the big surprise. It seems like every time I go to the Pryor Creek Comic Con, I always find something great. I always luck out on something great. And that's one of the reasons why the con has become so in just 7 years, so nostalgic for me. Ow, I just hit my teeth with that. But before I show you that, I want to show you these. I actually got some figures. Of course, you can see I like some figures right there. I don't buy a lot of them anymore, but these were $3 a piece, and pretty much, irresistible for me. This is not a Marvel Legends figure that I'm going to show you. It predates Marvel Legends. It's 1999, but it is a very cool Captain America figure with his original shield. I don't even remember ever seeing that figure, but I love the badge-shaped shield. Okay, my son did too when he saw it. When he saw these figures, he was just like, "Oh my gosh!" He's trying not to buy as many figures anymore. He's in college, and of course, right now doesn't have any place to put them, so he's trying to resist figures. But he saw the figures I got, and he was like, "That's so cool." And the next two are Marvel Legends figures. They're from early waves, okay? And they're ones that I had before, but at $3 a piece, I couldn't turn them down. And the first one is Ben Grimm, the Thing. This is the first Marvel Legends Thing, and this is the one. And his joints are a little bit loose, but $3, man. He's still perfect. I mean, look at those clodhoppers there, man. He doesn't need a base, okay? He stands just fine on his own. But I love the weathering on him, and that's something my son was noticing too. He's like, man, the weathering is so good, and it is very cool on the Thing. Got his mad face on. Seems like there was a variant where he was just frowning. Wasn't doing that. But there you go. And then lastly, this was one of my favorite Marvel Legends figures at the time. I don't remember if it was a variant or if the green one was a variant, but this is the first appearance Hulk. With the flat Frankenstein head and the gray. Now, really, I don't remember if the gray, I really think the gray was the regular one and the green was the variant, was the chase figure. I had them both. And I had the modern Hulk, which wasn't as good as this one. Didn't look as good as this one. Was just a little bit too ripped, was just a little bit too maniacal in his expression, and his hands, instead of being fists, they did this. They were, the Hulk doesn't slap people around. Now he does slap his hands together. But this was the one. I mean, I shunned the more modern Hulk, and I went for the gray. I went for him, and he's awesome. And he faces off with one of my Superman characters now, one of my Superman action figures. They are constantly face to face. All right, so there's the figures I bought. $9 for all three of those figures. So there you go. But that's not the great deal. That's not the greatest deal I got at Pryor Comic Con. So let me tell a story. So a guy who organizes the Pryor Creek Comic Con every year, helps to organize it, Jimmy Trammell. He is an entertainment writer for the Tulsa World and the Tulsa City newspaper. And he's been part of Pryor Creek Comic Con since its inception. He's the daddy, okay, of the con. And he buys collections and resells collections. He and some buddies of his bought a big collection and didn't have time to price anything before the show. Made for kind of a awkward, where you had awkward situation where you had to pick the things you wanted and then go to them and say, okay, what will you take on these? And they'd look at a guide or they'd look at eBay. I didn't pay attention to what he was looking at. But I did get a great book here. This is a book. It's not a Marvel Fireside book, but it is one of Marvel's early collections. They have listed in here Origins of Marvel Comics, Son of Origins, Bring on the Bad Guys, Superhero Women, How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way, Greatest Battles of Marvel Superheroes, and The Silver Surfer. So all of those had been out as well. So it's not the first, but one of the early books that Marvel collected, and they did some of the early Hulk stories by Kirby and Ditko. Here's some, here's some Kirby. Okay, some of the early, I think the early first 6-issue series. Let me find some Ditko, because there is some Ditko Hulk in here. Okay, there we go. There's some Ditko. Okay, Ditko Hulk. All right, and you can always tell Ditko and Kirby. Okay, so I was just happy to find this. It did have some tape on the spine. So I said, Jimmy, what will you take for this? And he said, you know what, $5. I said, great. Handed over the $5. Now it was in a plastic bag that was tough. It'd been in that plastic bag, you'd tell, for a long time, and it was tough to get off. I bought it, and took it because I just thumbed through it. Got back over to my table, was very excited, started to look through it, opened up to the first page, and here's what I find. Stan Lee signature there, and then Spidey signed it as well. I don't have the story there. I don't know the story of that one. If there was maybe a guy there at whatever con or whatever it was dressed as Spider-Man, and maybe he signed it. I don't know. But that is a Stan Lee signature. As soon as I see it, my son's sitting right beside me, and I open it up and I go, oh. And you may wonder, why did I react that way? Because I'm not going to just keep it and go, oh, bonus. I take it back over to the table, and I tell Jimmy, I say, listen, you're probably going to want to give me my money back, or we'll negotiate another price if I can afford it. But, and I showed him the signature, and, he was, and all of his buddies were, and to their credit, great guys, Jimmy said, well, hey, you bought it. I sold it to you. It's yours. And I said, really? He said, yeah, really. And they all said, really, but they were like, really, but let me see. And, they all took a look at it, and they're like, that's great, man, that's great. Good for you. Thanks for buying, So there's some great, great people out there in comic book land. But I love the area of the country I live in, the area of the state that I live in, because people are, there's just great people in this hobby. And there's not a con goes by that I don't, that I don't make a great deal. There's not a time I visit my comic shop that Kenny Hooker doesn't make me a great deal. There's just great, great people in my area working comics and enjoying comics. Just as there are great people in our YouTube community who are comic people. These comic book channels, great folks behind these channels. And so anyway, that's part of the big part of the reason why I do what I do. I would do it anyway because I love the hobby, or I enjoy the hobby, and it's part of my life, but the people make it that much better. So anyway, this has been a long video. Glad I could share this with you though, and I'll get this uploaded as soon as I can, but appreciate you watching. If you haven't yet, go ahead and subscribe, or comment, certainly comment on the video. I just, don't just watch and move on, but say something, even if it's just, hey, have a nice day. But anyway, thanks for watching. Share the video even if you'd like. But thanks for watching, and I guess I'll see you on the next video.